Imagine AI writes a client proposal for you. It sounds polished. It has the right tone. It even includes a confident recommendation. But before you send it, 4 questions are still open. Is the claim true? Does it fit this client? What happens if it's wrong? And should someone else review it before it leaves your hands? This is the part of AI work people keep underestimating. The first draft is getting cheaper. The final judgment is getting more valuable. AI made the first draft cheap. For a long time, the visible part of work was production. Write the email, summarize the meeting, draft the proposal, make the outline, prepare the recommendation, create the first version. AI is moving into that first version layer very quickly. McKinsey's 2025 State of AI survey found that 88% of respondents said their organizations use AI regularly in at least one business function, but only about a third said their companies had begun to scale AI programs. So the signal is not simply that AI is everywhere. The signal is that AI is entering the work before many teams have mature habits for using it. Microsoft's 2025 Work Trend Index points in a similar direction. Organizations becoming more AI-operated, but still human-led, with people setting direction, handling exceptions, and managing relationships. The value layer starts to move. When the first draft takes an hour, being the person who can produce it is valuable. When the first draft takes 30 seconds, the valuable question changes. Is this the right draft? Can it be trusted? Does it fit the situation? What did the AI miss because it does not know the client, the audience, the history, or the consequence? A lot of AI productivity talk becomes too simple here. It counts output, but it does not always count responsibility. If AI gives you 5 usable-looking options, your job is not just to pick the one that sounds best. Your job is to know which one deserves to move forward. That shift changes the meaning of review. Review is not proofreading. The mistake is thinking human review means checking grammar, fixing tone, and making sure nothing sounds strange. Sometimes it includes that, but in serious AI work, review is not mainly proofreading. Review is context entering the output. Think about a creator using AI to draft a script section. The paragraph may be fluent, the rhythm may be fine, but the real review is not just, does this read well? The real review is this claim fair to the audience? Is it based on the right source? Does it overpromise? Does it pull the video into a direction we are not actually going to pay off? Or think about a manager using AI to summarize a meeting. The summary may capture the general topic, but miss the uncomfortable part. The decision nobody fully agreed on, the person who raised a risk, the condition that must be true before the team acts. If that summary gets forwarded without review, the team may not just lose detail, it may lose the disagreement that mattered. Human review becomes more important as AI gets better, because bad AI output is easy to reject. The harder problem is output that sounds good enough to pass. The reviewer has to notice what fluency hides. They have to know the standard, the audience, and the consequence. They have to know what would make the answer useful, misleading, risky, or incomplete. Review is where the work becomes specific to reality. And that is why simply putting a person in the process is not enough. The human-in-the-loop trap. There is a comforting phrase people use around AI. Keep a human in the loop. It sounds sensible. Often it is necessary. But a human in the loop can still be out of the loop if they do not have the standard, the context, or the power to stop the output. BCG made this point clearly in 2025. Human oversight has to be designed, not merely delegated. Their analysis warned that review can be undermined by automation bias, weak escalation paths, bad incentives, and vague evaluation standards. In plain English, a person can be asked to approve something without being given a real way to judge it. Maybe they are too busy. Maybe the AI answer sounds confident. Maybe they cannot see the source trail. Maybe the team quietly rewards speed more than escalation. Maybe no one wants to be the person who slows down the shiny new AI process. At that point, review becomes theater. The organization gets to say a human approved it. but the approval did not mean very much. There is also a psychological problem. AI answers often arrive with confidence built into the style. They are clean, they are organized, they sound like they know. IBM Research published a small 2025 study on human AI data generation, where users sometimes carried AI-generated responses into their own answers, even when the AI suggestion conflicted with the correct response. The study was narrow, but the pattern is familiar. Confident output can change how people review. This does not mean humans are bad reviewers. It means review is a skill and a system. If the reviewer only sees the final answer with no source trail, no uncertainty, no rubric, and no permission to escalate, the human check can become a rubber stamp. The answer is not simply more review, the answer is better review. 4 questions of good AI review. A useful way to think about AI review is to ask 4 questions. First, is it true? This is the obvious one, but it is not always simple. A claim can be partly true, outdated, missing context, or true in one situation but not another. If AI gives you a statistic, you need to know where it came from, what it measured, when it was published, and whether it supports the sentence you want to say. The review question is not, does this sound credible? It is, can this claim carry the weight we are putting on it? Second, does it fit? This is where domain knowledge matters. A generic answer can be correct and still wrong for the moment. An AI-generated marketing plan may be reasonable for a large software company and useless for a solo consultant. A polished email may be professional and still wrong for a client relationship that needs more directness. A summary may be accurate and still miss the decision the team actually needed. Fit is where the reviewer brings the situation back into the work. Third, what happens if it is wrong? Some AI mistakes are small. A clunky phrase, a weak title, a slightly repetitive paragraph. You fix it and move on. Other mistakes travel. A wrong claim in a video can mislead an audience. A wrong customer message can create confusion. Wrong internal recommendation can send a team in the wrong direction. Good reviewers do not treat every output with the same level of anxiety. They ask how far the output travels and what it can affect. Fourth, should this be escalated? Sometimes the correct review decision is not to fix the output yourself. It is to send it to someone with better context, stronger expertise, or more authority. That could be a subject matter expert, a manager, a legal or security team, or simply the person who owns the relationship affected by the output. This is how review avoids fake confidence. You are not pretending to know everything. You are knowing when your review is not enough. So the 4 questions are simple. Is it true? Does it fit? What happens if it is wrong? Who else needs to see it? Once you can answer those questions, review stops looking like cleanup. It starts looking like the skill that decides whether AI work deserves trust. The skill stack is changing. Picture the useful AI worker a year or 2 from now. They are not just faster at prompting. They are looking at a polished AI draft and quietly doing things the tool cannot do by itself. They delete the impressive sentence that is not supported. They change a confident recommendation into a conditional one because the evidence is not strong enough. They add the missing caveat before an audience hears the claim. They forward the output to the person who owns the relationship because the decision should not stop with them. That is not glamorous in the way a new AI demo is glamorous, but it is the work that turns speed into trust. Workday released global research in 2025 showing that workers were much more comfortable teaming with AI agents than being managed by one. The exact numbers were 75% comfortable working alongside agents, but only 30% comfortable being managed by one. That gap says something important. People are not only asking, can AI help? They are asking, where should AI have authority? And once authority enters the question, review becomes more than editing. It becomes boundary setting. The valuable person is not always the person who generates the most output. It is often the person who can judge output under pressure. They know enough about the domain to spot what is missing. They know enough about sources to ask for evidence. They know enough about the audience to sense when a polished answer will land wrong. They know enough about risk to slow down the right things, and they know enough about the organization to escalate instead of pretending the AI answer is complete. In AI work, speed without review creates a strange kind of debt. The work moves quickly at first, and then the mistakes, mismatches, and missing context show up later. Review is how you stop speed from becoming rework. The useful way to think about AI work is not that humans create and AI assists, or that AI creates and humans disappear. The better lens is this: AI can make the first version cheaper. Humans make the final version accountable. That does not mean every sentence needs a committee. It does not mean every AI output is dangerous. The level of review should match the consequence of the work. For low-risk tasks, review can be light. For work that affects customers, audiences, teams, money, safety, reputation, or decisions, review becomes part of the work itself. So if you are trying to build useful AI skills, do not only ask how to prompt faster, ask how to review better. Can you check the source? Can you see the missing context? Can you tell when the answer sounds right but does not fit? Can you decide when the output should stop with you and when it needs someone else? That is where a lot of human value is moving. Not away from AI, into the part of AI work where someone still has to own the final answer. If you use AI at work, which output do you now review most carefully? Writing, research, summaries, decisions, or recommendations?